Hello, fabulous clinicians in private practice. It's Jo here, and welcome to Monday, the 26th of June, 2017. I have my voice back. It's so awesome. I don't sound like a 14-year-old boy getting used to his new voice anymore. It's so cool. So today, Monday, feeling a little better after my week of vacation, after a week of being sick. Went to yoga this morning. That was cool. So I decided to spend my entire day in my yoga pants. Yes, I came to work in yoga pants, and that was all okay, because that is the joy of having your own business and your own practice and doing the work you love the way you love to do it. So I must admit, I was feeling fairly pressured after being away for a week and then being sick for another week, because, you know, best laid plans and all that sort of stuff. Really felt like I wasn't on top of anything. And let's be honest, my inbox is a little out of control, and there's an assessment report that was due before I went to Singapore that I sought an extension on that didn't get done while I was in Singapore because I wasn't working, and didn't get done last week because I was so sick. But I know that the quality of my work needs to be able to stand up in court, so I know this work needs to be done well. And as much as I tried today to get that assessment report finished, it's just not done. It's just not finished, and I have to be okay with that. Fortunately, this particular client, this customer, is so supportive and encouraging. She doesn't want me to do a half-assed job. She wants it done properly because she knows if it's done properly, she doesn't have to get it done again. So thank God for awesome people like your awesome customers, where if you're sick, they actually understand and they respect it, and they go, right, just tell me when it can be done and what I can do to help. Just going to have a sip of some lemon. Hang on. So despite feeling so much better, I'm still not 100%, and that's okay. These things take time, and we're learning to be patient, aren't we? Okay, we're being forced to be patient. So being back in the office and back in the flow of work today, it was a big day in terms of, right, reprioritizing and working out which parts of the business puzzle need to fit where. Because if you take 2 weeks out of your business, especially if one of those weeks is unexpected, things are going to change. So we had brand new clients come into the service today, so I'm busy making sure I know where my team's at and what's going on. We've got a subpoena matter that we're still managing, so I wanted to make sure that we had all of that under control. Like I said, I've got an assessment that's overdue, so I want to make sure I've got the time and the energy assigned for that. I need to look after my health because I'm still not quite at 100%. I need to make sure that my practice manager who is onboarding, this is her final week with the practice manager who is leaving the business. So we've got a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of moving parts. Any business has a lot of moving parts. Hobbies may not have a lot of moving parts, but most businesses have a lot of moving parts. The extra bonus for us here in Australia this week is that June, the end of June, is the end of our financial year. So yay us, this is when we all go, wow, look at all that money I made. Look at all that tax I paid. I wonder what deductions I can legally claim for. I know, I said that tongue in cheek. So most business owners here in Australia this week are in a little bit of a panic. They want all the cash in, or they want all the bills out, depending on where you're at with your cash flow and depending on where you're at with your, where you fit in that tax schedule that the government likes to change its mind about every couple of years. Feels like months, but apparently it's every couple of years. Hang on, my voice is going again. So I'm really celebrating the fact that last year I spent quite a bit of time and effort getting a system in place so that this year, when end of financial year came around, it was going to be so much easier for the person who was supporting me and helping me do that. So I created checklists. Yes, I'm a bit of a checklist queen. I have a great accountant who also sends me checklists. Thank you, Melissa and Lauren. And all of those things have been filed and saved somewhere where my new practice manager can actually find them, because she's already found them without being shown, and she's already started to actually work through the steps of what we need to do. So that's pretty awesome, because I don't like having to go and find pieces of paper and try and make sense of my accounting software. The worst thing is when somebody comes to me 4 weeks after the event with a receipt going, do you know what this was for? No, Chances are I don't. If it was for less than $1,000, I ain't going to remember. I just don't remember that stuff. So when I write it in the email, then that's the instructions. You need to use those instructions, and that's how we work around things. So for me, trying to find information inside of the many number of, what are they called? We have electronic records here, and I have one for my private practice, and then we have another one for accounting, and then we have all the different ways people can pay us money. So we end up running about 3 or 4 different lots of software. And of course, nobody talks to each other, because that would be too sensible, wouldn't it, people? To have a piece of software that actually made everything talk to each other. That would be really cool. I'm not talking about CSV spreadsheets either. I know about those. That's not what I'm talking about. So we don't want me running around with financial details at that level. That's not a good use of my time. What was a good use of my time today was getting my blog post for Wednesday ready. I actually wrote a guest post because I was asked to do that over the weekend. I've started thinking about the Purple Periodical, which is going to come out this quarter, well, at the end of this week for this quarter. I spent quite a lot of time prioritizing and planning what the next couple of weeks needs to look like. I now get to go and talk to my grandma, which is pretty darn awesome. We actually have arranged a date to talk to each other on the telephone. So I'm going to go and do that and wish you a happy evening. And I look forward to sharing This is Private Practice with you again tomorrow.